what was your, uh-oh, something's
That's
happening.
okay. We typically record these so people
Okay,
who say they want to go listen to the recording can do that. So we will
okay,
record up until we start interacting a lot, and then we will stop the recording, and then we will take it off of Facebook. But for right now, it's still live that way.
okay,
I just want to say that you guys were on with us 2 months ago
yes,
in the middle of a storm.
yes.
The whole village had lost electricity. Vidura had hooked up Durga and Vidura to a generator so they could still come online with us like the troopers that they are. And the connection was very poor, let's just say that. So now we have the great connection, and welcome back.
Thank you so much. Yeah, but Dura's not feeling very well. He didn't look very well. So I sent him to his room. And so he sends his love and greetings to everyone. And maybe next time he'll be able to come on. But we just thought we would share a little bit about different things that are going on. And one thing I wanted to ask you, last time, did we talk to you at all about the retreat or what's happening up there? Because I know some of you have been up there and would like to know what's going on. So we could do that, but we might have already done it.
Well,
So
why don't you briefly tell us the meditation retreat and the expanding light? That'd be great.
yeah, so Vidura and I, for those of you who might be new, we were managing the meditation retreat for almost 9 years. And then in the fall or late, I guess around Christmas time, I started just going up once a week and pulling back a lot. I have other things I'm doing now. I'm working with Compassionate Care Group. I just put together a program for Anandi Cornell, who passed away the end of January. So we've been collecting photos and stories for about a month. And I made up 11 posters with different themes of her life. So like friendship and ministry, time with Swamiji, Bharat Nanandi, Japan. There was one whole poster of Japan, what they've been doing there. Anyway, it was an absolute joy, but it came off last night. If any of you want to see it, it was recorded. A beautiful time. We already had her astral ascension ceremony the beginning of February, but this was just a time for people to come together and talk about her. Or as Davy said, I'm not going to talk about her, I'm going to talk to her. So she dialed a phone and, hi Nandi, we're here. Bharat's doing well. It was really sweet. But so many people spoke and it was really beautiful. Even my brother, who did know Bharat and Nandi because we went camping with them, he didn't know anything about sort of the spiritual side of what we do here. He was blown away by it. He watched the whole thing and just people's love for her and what an extraordinary person she was. And people still feel definitely she's in their life. I was talking to all of you know Mantra Devi. I was talking to her, and I hope she's okay with me telling you this, but she said that she's been in touch with Anandi's sister, Barbara, for years. And Barbara was talking to her and asking her questions. And Mantra Devi said she was just praying to Anandi, just tell me what I can tell your sister that she will understand and that will help her. And so she did. And then Barbara said, oh my God, it's exactly what Anandi would have told me. So those things are happening with many, many people. And if you watch the program, I think I had maybe 7 people read other people's stories because they kept sending them to me. Please read this online. So, or in person. So we did that yesterday and it was beautiful. We had a separate little altar with rose petals that we had packaged up for people to take. We had Bharat brought the cover that was on her body the last day. And it was just really beautiful. And then all the posters were set up in the foyer of the temple, and they're still set up for people to see, because we're starting service at 11 now. We had a vote and I lost, but we had a vote and the community voted to put it back to 11, which is the way we had it before COVID. So today we started 11. And I think the main reason is now that the expanding light is open again, which is our main retreat, they want to be able to serve lunch right afterwards to the guests and anybody in the community that wants to stay for lunch. So that's starting today. The meditation retreat, Vidura is still working there 4 days a week. He's very involved still, which is really good for them, as an overlap to the new managers. Gopal and Sahaja Sims are now the managers there, but Vidura and Brannon, those of you know Brannon, they're like glued together, and they do all the maintenance and all the projects. The biggest one they did this year with Deva Mooney or Roger Hall was, we are now completely 100% solar. And that was huge. And it's so exciting and it's so quiet up there. I don't believe we got a new generator, obviously for backup, but they've never had to use it. It's quite an undertaking. Now he was going to tell you about the new fence. So those of you who've been up there know there's a fence around 5 acres of land at the top. And it's been there for 15 or 20 years, and the posts are starting to go. So they're rebuilding that whole fence. It'll be very nice. Also, the tool room, the inverter room, the power room, the generator, all is brand new. So I hope you come up and we can give you a tour and show you all the wonderful, all the cabins have been redone. They just this week painted the shower house. It's a beautiful sage green. So there's a lot of changes. And so if you come up, that'll be fun. We can take you on tour. So I've got other things, but I would like to ask if any of you have any questions we could answer, or I could answer. Otherwise, I've got a list of things I could tell you about. So why don't you ask questions?
I have a question around the meditation retreat. It's such a special place, and we did do a retreat there years ago, and I think that will be in our plan somewhere in the future. But oh my gosh, what was my question? Oh, I know. Temples. Are the temples open now up at the meditation retreat? And just sort of what is the protocol?
Well, as far as I know, the temples are open. I think probably with masks still. But I know that they're serving people in the dining room, which is new. Again, I think with masks, I think the mask thing will probably stay in place for a while. I know at the expanding light, the temple, we wear masks in there. I don't know what they're doing in the dining room, but I'm assuming the same thing until we get more clearance. Because now it feels like it's lightening up so much. But then if you read the news, you can see it's still there. And one of our old time members, Sitabai, who is in Jerusalem right now, setting up a tour for later. She just got COVID. She was rooming with Ashtara, so they both have COVID. So it's still around. So we're just being a little cautious.
What is it with vaccinations? What's the protocol around vaccinations?
Well, people are encouraged, but nobody is forced to do it. So we have probably, 30 people that haven't been vaccinated.
But I mean, guests can come that aren't, because I think for a while they were saying only vaccinated, right?
Exactly. But I think that's, I think,
okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted everybody to know what sort of the protocol was.
Yeah, I think that you don't need to be, but bring your mask for sure. Or we have lots of extras, unused.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah, new ones. Hi, Mark.
Hi there. How you doing?
Very well, thank you. Actually, I'm getting a hip replacement done
Oh my gosh.
2 weeks, not 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. But overall, I'm doing really well. So that's been painful, but that's going to be all resolved. And um, everybody that's had one says they feel much better afterwards. So I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to that. But yeah, I'm doing well.
Can you tell us anything about Bhagavati? Because I read something in her blog and I wondered if you could share about that.
Her blog is where you'll find out most of the information. She's very open. She's got a rare kind of cancer. She's going through lots of treatments, but I mean, she was singing last night. She sings most services. She's just keeping going. I think she's on chemo, maybe by mouth, radiation. She's getting the whole thing. She's getting a bone marrow transplant, but she's very optimistic and yeah, a real trooper.
Was curious about the solar at the meditation retreat. You say they haven't used the generator at all, so I get. Do they? I'm getting kind of geeky here with the technical details, but do they have a string of batteries that are?
Yes, yeah,
that
54
store the power?
batteries. 54 batteries, and they have the inverters. They have an inverter room, a battery room. They have a place for the generator, but they just don't need it because the solar's bringing in so much power.
Wow, that is so impressive.
It's very impressive. Yeah, the whole thing has been quite something. And David Mooney is expert. That's what he does. He's an electrician, and it was amazing to watch him. And everything is precise. So the rooms that used to be, you wouldn't want anyone to see them. Now they look like a laboratory. They're perfectly pristine,
Uh-huh.
nice. You could take anybody in there and be proud of them. So yeah, he's amazing. And then Brandon has learned a lot working with him this whole year. And so it's pretty fun. And it's so much quieter because you never knew when
Oh
the
yeah.
generator was going to go on.
Yeah.
And thank God we had it, but even our backup generator died. So we were just really timely. It was, yeah.
Yeah. Divine Mother's
So-
timing.
Yes.
A question from years and years ago. Do we still have kerosene lanterns on the walls?
No. Well, if we do, they're not working.
It hasn't been for a while.
That's
But-
great.
Yeah, no, all nice little lamps. And yeah, all the cabins have beautiful, well, except for one is not so beautiful, but real nice stoves and ovens. And yeah, it's really nice. A lot of new furniture. Almost all of them have been repainted outside and in. So it's really beautiful. And now, of course, the gardens are starting to bloom. Charles is still there, and he's still working half days. Let's see. Yeah, and the tulips, those of you who've never been to Ananda during April, is springtime at Ananda, and this year they planted 17,000 tulips. So
Wow.
because of the weather, the beginning of April won't be as full. Probably if you were going to come, I would suggest coming around the 15th or 20th. The cherry blossoms will be blooming, the cherry tree, it's amazing. But even if you come now, they're beautiful. It's just that there's not as many tulips. There's lots of other flowers and trees and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's exciting because for 2 years we couldn't have springtime at Ananda. And the last year we opened it to the public, we got 10,000 people that came through in a month. So pretty impressive. Now when you come, you have to sign up. You have to get tickets, and you have to, because they're only letting 35 people at a time in the gardens. So, but yeah, there's a lot happening. The Expanding Light opened after 2 years of being closed. They had a 115 person group a couple weeks ago. This is called the Luminous Group. And before we were closed, they would come 8 times a year and bring these huge groups. Oh, the other thing that's fun is Gaia House, which those of you who know, Gaia House is this large house that a single family built many, many years ago. They had 5 daughters, and now it's been completely remodeled. Someone went in and they were going to buy the house and make it, because he isn't able to climb stairs. So they took out the staircase and put in an elevator, and then they decided not to buy it. So it was sort of ripped apart. So now Carol Redmond and Mandala have spent 9 months, and the architects, putting it together. It's absolutely beautiful. So that just opened, and that group stayed there. They stayed at the meditation retreat. They stayed at Expanding Light. They stayed at the retreat that Nishala run. So they were everywhere, but it was very, very successful. Very successful. We're starting to get our groups back again. So everything's coming alive again. It's really nice feeling.
So Gaia House is available to, it's still part of the Expanding Light again?
Right.
So,
But
okay.
you can rent it. Yeah. Outside people anytime can rent it. If you brought a group and everybody wanted to stay together, you could rent. There's 7 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms.
I can't even imagine what it must look like now if they took that staircase out.
Oh, I was heartbroken about that,
Yeah,
because I love that staircase.
I did too.
But it's, it's more utilitarian now, whereas before it was like an art piece or something.
Yeah,
But it's beautiful.
yeah.
It's beautiful.
And what about that huge, I don't know if it was from Switzerland or from
No, gone.
the heating system in that house was beautiful and part of the staircase.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's gone. All right, I feel like 2023, a retreat from Texas is trying to happen.
You better come, and don't forget the meditation retreat.
Well,
no.
when we had our Ananda Texas retreat, it was at the meditation
Yes.
retreat. So we don't know where it'll be yet, but
I guess it depends on how many people you get.
true.
Yeah. So anyway, and how do they like forest retreats, or do they like more modern retreats? You never know.
Yeah.
Quiet retreats.
Get out of
Quiet
the
and
big
serene.
city. Get out of the city retreats.
No noise.
Have the Karma Yoga and the Seva Yoga programs at the Expanding Light and at the meditation retreat, have those
Yeah.
started back up yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe share a little bit about those, because those could be applicable to some folks.
Well, the Karma Yoga programs have been going on since I came. I was in a Karma Yoga program in 1974, and they've continued. And what they are is a way for people to come any age and just help out. So you go to the meditations that are set up, but you also spend your days serving in different areas. I think the Expanding Light is actually expanding beyond the facility, and people are able to serve other places if they want to. This is what I was told. I don't know for sure if that's the reality now, but basically you help make retreats happen for other guests. And you also have an extraordinary experience. In the summer, they take them to the river, and you have time together and kirtan, singing, meals together. It's a wonderful program, really wonderful. And you get to know the staff really well. So you really get to know what Ananda is in a different way. So there are classes you go to if you want to. It's a beautiful program.
You have plenty of time to do your
I
own
think
spiritual
Mark was
practice.
even in it. Weren't Mark?
I was never in Karma Yoga, but I was I did Seva Yoga at
Meditation retreat.
the meditation retreat. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, it's a less expensive way to be at.
Yeah. Thank you. Very much so. Yeah. I think I don't know what it is now, but when I was there a few months ago, it was, I think $600 for a month. And then you get all your meals, you get a place to stay, you get the satsang with everyone. You get to serve. I don't know. It's a really
Yeah.
wonderful program.
Highly
And
recommend it if anybody has a month or even a couple of weeks to spare, then go do it.
yeah,
And they really treat you like royalty, even though that's what I have noticed. Even though you are serving, it's an opportunity to serve, but that the staff really treats you with so much love and kindness and give you tours of the village, tours of the Crystal Hermitage.
if you come in April, you get to see the tulips.
Yeah.
And
So-
also, over where the tulip gardens are, it's called the Crystal Hermitage, and it's where Swami lived. It's his house since 1971, even though it's been rebuilt. The gardens are absolutely gorgeous, and there's a beautiful boutique there called we call it the Shrine of the Masters. It's got relics of all of our masters that the Indians, relatives of Yogananda, gave to us. Vidura and I led pilgrimages to India for about 20 years. And so we got to know the family very, very well. And they really trusted us and they loved Ananda. And so they gave us a lot of things. So we created this. It's really a museum, but it's attached to the boutique part. And it's beautiful. So if you go there, it's a definite place to spend an hour or so.